Hey, Shalom Markin, this is Rakam Makapash from GMS London, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful, like pushing this truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video, and I just finished watching this this video here on YouTube entitled "Why Medieval Bread Was a Superfood." What does it say? Wow, modern bread makes you sick. Right? I find it very interesting. Good watch. Or I'll remember to post this in the comment section or whatever, right? It's just going into the product that we call bread. That's in the supermarkets these days is not really bread, and brothers, probably already know this. That everything that we here in this kingdom is defiled, and is really working against us. It doesn't provide us the nutrition or the sustenance that food of the ancient world would have provided, right? And there's different reasons for that, right? But a lot of this is to do with this devil, okay? These Edomites, all right, and they're insatiable thirst for profit, and and to destroy people, basically, right? And most notably the children of Israel, right? Because even though this is affecting the whole earth, all these products are being moved all over the earth, right? Through Esau's manufacturing processes, these industrial processes that he's got up and running, because he's so intelligent, he's so smart, right? He's so great, he got all these inventions, right? And he wants the credit, right? But he's destroying people. He's making people, he's poisoning people. He's making people sick. All right, and this is why we're not going to give Esau no fucking credit, right? For anything, right? For anything at all, right? Because he's doing nothing but destroy the earth, destroy the people. All right, but this is all prophecy. This is the time of the end. This is the time of the wicked, right? It's the time of these Edomites, okay, who are the last rulers, the last kingdom that is going to rule upon this earth before the coming of our Lord and his kingdom. All right, so this is the time that we're living. This is how things are supposed to be. But this is the more and more, more and more of a reason why Esau needs to be done away with, right? Because he don't do nothing right, right? And like I say, it's not by accident. It's not like, oh, he just he's he don't believe he's incompetent anyway. But it's not because he just did it by accident. No, this guy's just the devil, right? And he's out here to poison the people, right? To make money while you're dying, basically, right? Because he don't want you here anyway. So he just poisoned everybody. And that's why if you're the rich elite, you don't eat like everybody else. You don't eat the loaf of bread from the supermarket. You know what I mean? Right? They live in a different life to the peasants of today. Right? The common working man is a peasant. Right? But back in the day, in the ancient times, it weren't like that, man. These men were, they were peasants, they were poor, but they were eating real food. Instead we're eating chemical equations, right? Balanced equations or whatever, because it lasts longer on the shelf, or whatever, right? But yeah, watch this video. It's interesting. But let's get into what I'm here for. Is to bring out these scriptures. Right, I'll let him explain the bread side of things. But if anyone's interested, I think he called it heritage wheat or something like that, right? You want to get bread that is kind of non-processed and that kind of stuff. Heritage wheat or heritage flour or whatever. You can get hold of bread that's made with that, or make your own or whatever. But watch the video. He'll talk about all of that. But let me get this from Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 13. Right, it says, and the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All right. And so, like I said, we're at the mercy of captors, okay, who in this current time are these Edomites and these other nations, right? But they're all under the vibration of Esau. right? They all follow after Esau because, Satan, Lucifer, which really is these Edomites, these elites, right? They are the light of the world, and the world follow them in the things that they do, right? And so this is why I think, he's going around the earth, conquered everywhere, and you got all these men playing to similar tunes, right? So they're all kind of doing the same thing, because it's at the end of the day, it's about profit with these guys. They want to keep up economically, and so they adopt the same processes, right? But these processes are making people sick, okay, and causing illnesses, all over the earth, and this is why there's spikes in death, with things like obesity, right? Got this from Google, right? It says obesity causes millions of deaths globally each year, around 2.8 million, right? By significantly raising risk of serious conditions like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, and respiratory issues, leading to reduced life expectancy, right? Which is what Esau wants ultimately at the end of the day. That's why it's not really a big issue. Like they'll look like they're tackling it. Oh yeah, you got to do this and do that. Go on this diet, do this exercise or whatever, right? But really, they want you to, because you can't. Because funny enough, you can't eat healthy. Everything that's deemed healthy is poisoned, right? You're still taking in the poison that he's provided, whether it be from whatever source it is. Esau's poisoning you all day fucking long, right? He wants you to die. He wants you to be sick. He wants to make money while you're sick, right? So you're gonna buy the food that makes you sick. You're gonna buy the medication that's supposed to, help you or whatever, or to medicate you, right? While you're sick, right? He's making money everywhere while he's watching you die, and you think that somehow, at some point in this, Esau is trying to help you. There's no point. Any point in this, Esau is trying to help. There's no point in this. He's trying to help you. He just wants you to die and make him rich at the same time, right? We all know what the Georgia Guidestones, was saying. Right? We've brought out plenty of times, right? He don't want you to survive, right? He just wants you to die slowly, you know. But yeah, this is leading to reduced life expectancy, with studies suggesting it's become a bigger preventable killer than smoking. Right? It's the same devil that got you believing that smoking was good for you, right? But it causes cancer. Yeah, I don't know what to tell people. Tell you people, man. But he's just the devil. You know, this is it's becoming a preventable killer than smoking in some regions like the UK, increasing all cause mortality and worsening CV-19 outcomes. Global impact: annual deaths. The World WHO links at least 2.8 million deaths annually to overweight and obesity. Right, and Jake suffered heavily with that. Right. You know this, right? But like I said, everybody else is suffering. These Edomites are suffering. These Asians are suffering. They're all suffering, man. Because they on Esau's diet. They on Esau's processed, manufactured bullshit. This is what the West. This is what the West has brought the world. Their greatness. Just obesity, right, and a whole bunch of fucking freaky shit. All right. But yeah, diabetes and all these different types of things, right? The cancers and stuff, right? Jay suffer heavily from all of that, right? And so, like we just read, our bread that we defiled among the heathen, and this is what we're eating. And let's say it's hard to eat good, it's hard to eat clean because hardly anything's clean. You have to make it your damn self, and most of the time you don't have the time. Brothers got to go out to work and stuff. Well, Jake got out to work. Jake got two free jobs. You know what I mean? Where do we find the time? We're constantly being just run down, and so we look for fast, cheap food, and it's destroying you, right? But Jake is kept poor, and Jake is kept occupied. So, what they're gonna do? What's Jake gonna do? They're depressed, so they eat comfort food. You know what I mean? And that's, But all this shit, all this chemical shit that's in it is making you depressed also and anxious and shit. It's like a continuous fucking cycle, man. That Jake just he can't get out of, and so our people suffer. Okay, Esau is destroying our people. Fuck everybody else, man. To hell with them. We can destroy them. But Esau's destroying our people, man. right? And so this is true. This is all prophecy, right? So again, and the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All right. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Right? This is not the kingdom of heaven, man. Far from it. This is the kingdom of hell. This is the kingdom of hell, man. Because that's what we're experiencing in this place. Right? Ain't nothing right. Okay, and so anybody that trusts in this place, that thinks they have a future in this world, in this kingdom, bro, you're crazy. You're crazy, right? As it's going to go on to say, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. Evidently, everything's polluted, right? It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, right? And this is why people are suffering, was part of the reason, right? Okay, and this all stems from us breaking laws such as commandments that the Heavenly Father gave us, right? And so He gave us into the hand of our enemies, right? Where we don't get to have a say in anything, right? We're having demons rule over us, and they're just feeding us bullshit, right? Quite literally, right? It's just they're feeding you what they want, and it's killing you, right? But Jake has got in their mind that this world ain't so fucking bad, you know. It's terrible. There's no words to really describe how bad this kingdom actually is. It's the worst kingdom to ever exist. But Esau, he wants you to believe that this is the greatest kingdom ever to exist. But everyone's dying. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's dying, right? Everyone's in a necrotic state, right? Well, yeah, but we got medicines, we got antibiotics and all these guys. Like, yeah, okay, cool. But you're still dying. You're living longer, but you're still fucking dying. Still suffering longer in life. Look, let me go back here. I swear it says it says somewhere, right, in these things here and these bullet points, right? The 2002 study found obesity increased all-cause mortality rates by 22% for men, 22% for men, and 12% for women ages 30 to 64. Right, there's another age group a lot lower. Maybe I was looking at diabetes earlier, maybe. No, I don't want that. No cause of death right now. Heart disease, which is led to linked to obesity. One of the age groups is like super low. It's like everybody's suffering from it, man. Let's put in diabetes. Kidney disease. Where did I see the other one though? This shit can cut your life down like by 14 years, man. Oh, I don't know where the hell it was, man. But yeah, like children, man, they're suffering from this obesity shit. Children are fucking dying. It's fucked up. All right, so like I said, this place is destroying us, man. Right, and it's all to do with Esau. It's all to do with Esau, right? In his perceived greatness, he thinks he's onto great ideas, right? So he's just doing all this shit. But like I said, it's not done by accident. It's not like he didn't know this was going to be the outcome of these ideas that he had. He just don't give a fuck. He just don't give a damn. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28. Verse 15, right? So this is all part of the curses, right? Esau himself is part of this curse, right? He is the wicked that is ruling over us, right? Our enemy, right? And the Most High said that's what he would do. He will give us into the hand of our enemies. And this is what our enemies do to us, right? And he's been the worst one, right? So Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15 says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, then all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he hath consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Right? So we're plagued with diseases and shit, man. You know, autoimmune shit, and you know, we can't even fucking, well, not that it's food, right? It's why we can't process it. It's why we're getting all these fucking autoimmune diseases and shit, right? But it's all part of the curses, man. The plagues, the pestilences that are on our people, right? And like I said, Esau, you know, has his hand in that, you know. The Lord will smite you with a consumption and with a fever and with inflammation, with an inflammation, right? And that's something that's often talked about, is inflammation in the body. You know, we're all experiencing these different things, you know, to a greater and lesser extent. I don't think any of us are what's the word? Like excluded from it. Like all Jake, probably everybody, right, is suffering in some form or another from this rulership, and you know, the diet it promotes, and you know, the food we have to eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, right? It's affecting all of us. You know, exempt was the word I was looking for, right? None of us is exempt from the you know, from what this devil's doing, right? But ultimately, it affects us the most because we're the children of the Lord put under these curses, right? We are our main target, and you know, the same thing when they released the whole CV, you know, super jab thing. It's like they were targeting you, Jake, right? We've always been a target of Esau, always, you know. So again, so the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. The Lord will smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Right? Thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Right? So there's nowhere to run, nowhere to go. It's going to be hard living, man. Like, so you can't even make good decisions anymore. Like you know, you think, oh, I'm gonna eat organic, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, and it's just like you're still getting fucked up. Esau's still getting you somehow, some way. You know, the shit he feeding you ain't really organic. You know, or you change this and it's like, oh, you find out it's fucking GMO or some shit. You know what I mean? You just, you know, you thought you was eating fine, but then you realize you're eating fucking GMO shit. It don't, you know, we're being attacked constantly. You know, no matter how we trying to go about it, you know, we're always under attack. Psalm 17 verse 3. He said, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, right? So Esau set out to be this devil, man, to be the oppressor, to be, you know, the one that's, you know, making our lives hell, right? He is the sword of the Lord on the left-hand side, right? And he's been sent against us. This man is not for us in any shape or form, right? And people need to realize that. This guy is not a help to you in any sort of way. None. You know? We can't be like rating him, bro. You know what I mean? Like, oh, but he's filled all the supermarkets with bread because of his his industrialization, and that's good to be good. He can feed more people, but what is he feeding them? Let's talk about what is he feeding us. What is he feeding us, man? Because you can't tell me that, like, if Esau just, because this is the equivalent of it, right? Like Esau can mass produce something, right? And let's say it's somewhere, I don't know, right? But he just been the store of poison though, like, because that's what it is. He's feeding you shit, and you will die. You will die eventually, right? But yeah, he's filling up the shelves, and so you can consume more of it, and it can it's more readily available, right? But it's just full of poison though. You can't rate a guy for that. You can't say, look, well, yeah, but he's feeding us at least, bro. You're dying. You're just dying a little bit slower, maybe. If he was gonna, if he was gonna starve to death, maybe. But you know, he's not really helping. He's a dumb fuck. He's a dumb fuck. Even though he's not dumb, he knows what he's doing, right? But you're the really the people are the dumb ones that believe that he's trying to help. You know, this dude ain't doing nothing but helping himself, right? And he don't care, who's in the way, right? He gonna do fulfill his agendas. All right, these rich elite of Esau, they're gonna do what they need to do, man, to reach their goals and their targets. People are just collateral. Okay, tools to be used. And if he dies, he dies, right? We'll just make robots. That's where things are going, right? He'll just like have an AI do it, or he'll get machines to do it. He don't need 8 billion people on the planet. So what if a few million of you die every year? He don't give a fuck. He's just gonna make some money off you on the way out. That's all. Right? It's Proverbs 29, verse 16. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth. Right? And like I said, Esau is at the top of the table right now, and wickedness is just increasing. Right? And it's just bad because it's the lies, man. It's the lies making you believe that things are better. When nothing about this place is better. Everything about this place is destroying you. You know? But he lies to your face, and people just, they accept it because they're the simple believe of every word. Right? But wickedness is increasing. Right? It says, but the righteous shall see their fault. Right? And this is what we can't wait to see. I mean, we're watching it. It's happening in slow motion type thing. We're watching these kingdoms fall apart. All right. This is Psalm 73, verse 12. It says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches, right? Well, I say all these guys that come up with all these fucking ideas, that end up being rich or whatever, right? It's just Esau planting these guys and into these positions and making them rich, right? For producing something that it is not ultimately benefiting people, right? But it does further the agendas of the elites, right? And that's what they care about, making profit, to put into their war machine, essentially, their agenda machine, But these men are getting rich of killing people, basically, right? And this is what it says, basically. This is Sirach chapter 34, verse 21. So the bread of the needy is their life, right? And so that the video goes into, man, like, men have been eating bread for thousands of years, man. It's been a staple in our diets, right? But we didn't suffer the same issues that we're suffering with this shit now, right? And it's just because of the process and the materials, the ingredients being used, all right? But it says here the bread of the needy is their life, right? It's part of our life. It's part of a sustenance to keep us going, right? And Esau knows that. Esau knows that, and so what he does is he infects every key aspect of life to break you down, right? To mess you up, right? So the bread of the needy is the life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood, right? You're defrauding us of the fact you trying to tell us that these things, these things that you're selling us is food. It's not food. It's a lie. So you're defrauding everybody, man, and that makes you a man of blood because, let's say, you're really just destroying a whole bunch of people, man. Right? Just from obesity alone, 2.3 million people are dying every year, right? And that's just from obesity, without all the extra other stuff that you're doing and that people are dying from, linked to these different things. Right? So you truly are a man of blood. You're causing death in everything that you do. You know? This is Sirach chapter 29 verse 21. It says the chief thing for life is water and bread, right? So yeah, so he in fact he putting chemicals in your water, right? He putting chemicals in your food, right? And clothing, he doing all this mixed fabric shit, right? And he's like he said, and a house to cover shame is what a chief thing is, right? A house to cover shame, and people are finding it difficult to fucking own their house or be in a house, right? It's fucked up when you gotta share a house with like four other fucking strangers, man. You just got a room and you share a fucking kitchen, a toilet with fucking strangers, man. That's fucking fucked up. You haven't got your own fucking space. It's like you got no room to fucking breathe, man. And he's sort of just fucking up everything. He making shit, he inflating prices and all kinds of things. He put you in a fucking box. Man, he wants you to live like man like in Japan, man. He's living in a box somewhere. But these things that he saw is taken away from people, man, or distorting, or poisoning, polluting. And like I said, he knows he's not stupid. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. Because what a man's house is meant to be something private, man. It's just to cover shame, right? You dwell in your own house, You ain't meant to be sharing with a whole bunch of fucking strangers, man. Come home from work looking through, like, you know what I mean? Like, just looking all fucked up and shit. Looking downbeat. They ain't meant to know what's going on. It's fucked up, man. But like I said, this is Esau's world, man. This is the end. This is the end. This is the most wickedest kingdom to ever exist. Right? The most oppressive. Right? And so I've just got one more left on this one, right? And this is Psalm 64. It says, verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Right? So that begins, that's beginning with these elites of Esau, man. Right? They're the secret counsel of the wicked. They're the one plotting and scheming and bringing all these things into being. Right? They set the tone for the world, right? They are Lucifer, as the scripture speaks about. Not the spiritual demon Satan. Right? That's not what or who Lucifer is. Lucifer is really speaking about these elites, right? That guide the world in the way that they want it. They're the light bearers of this world, right? So hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. A lot of the shit that these men are doing to us, these people are not aware. So it is in secret. They're not aware of the shit that they be doing. Right? Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. All these things are evil matters that they're producing, man. It says they commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, right? So like I said, they know damn well what the fuck they're doing. You know, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of God, for they shall wisely consider his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Right? So, like I said, these devils are doing the most, right? And, out here destroying people, right? And even though we're living in the midst of wickedness and chaos and death, right? We don't fear this place, right? We trust in the Lord that that we will be preserved in these times, man. Because like I said, eating right is difficult, right? Everything we consume is really killing us, but at the same time, the Lord is preserving us, so we can do this work. And that's some brothers in different conditions. Some brothers got different types of ailments and all these different types of things, and the Lord is has got them going through that as a part of their lot, right? But that's just how it has to be. But this is just the condition of the fight, man. This is what we're up against. This is what we need to persevere and endure. We can only do the best that we can. But we trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, in the method, and the things that we have to go through. We just need to concentrate on doing this work, and let the Lord take care of the rest. But yeah, watch the video. That's I find it interesting and insightful. And yeah, the numbers are going up. People watching this. Look, 1.1 million views from 2 weeks now. Yeah, so people are interested in this stuff. People are knowing this fucking world is bullshit, man, and what we're eating is bullshit. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Lord, this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.